The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at wrestlingwithjohners.com.
So I'm very fortunate today to be sitting down with a man who's got the jack of all trades, ring announcer, general manager, so many more, Mike Mad Dog Angus. Thank you for joining me today.
No worries at all, George. Absolutely brilliant to join you. I'm part of the Johners Podcasting Network, so anybody who's part of the Johners Network's good with me. That guy's an absolute legend. So, big shout out to him, and a big shout out to you as well. Obviously, you're part of the Armed Forces, wasn't it?
I am,
Mate, that's absolutely excellent. Absolutely brilliant. That really respect that, and looking forward to chatting to you today about a bit of wrestling. We've had a busy start to the year already, so. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, mate. So you hit me with them questions.
Sorry.
No worries at all. What have you got? You got like a drill truck or whatever going on outside?
yeah, pretty much, mate. Pretty much. Bit of
worries.
Construction, to the house and stuff.
No worries. Well, we can edit that bit out if we need to, can't we?
Yeah.
I'll just carry on what I was saying anyway. So, after TNT as well, worked at Wrestle Island as the ring announcer there for their first sort of 6 years as well. So we've done a lot of stuff there. Worked at North Wrestling up in Newcastle, covering for Tom Campbell when he's been away doing different bits and bobs with the radio and stuff. So always enjoy that. Worked along the wonderful Brian Dixon at All Star Wrestling.
Wow.
With some of the guys there. Yeah, that was excellent time. And Brian passed away last year, so sad times there. But what a legend he was! Some of the most knowledge in wrestling passed down there from Brian. Some of the what a great guy, and some of the stuff he had to tell you was really interesting stuff. So done quite a lot of stuff. Been working in progress since chapter 127, since Liam Martin took over. We've done all sorts already. We've been to the States. We've got a show coming up in the States in the next couple of months.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
Yeah, so it's good stuff. And we've worked alongside For the Love of Wrestling, Hooked on Wrestling, hosting the parties for those guys, and just trying to make sure that we have a good time and make sure wrestling is portrayed in a positive light and everyone enjoys it, basically. Make sure everyone's enjoying it. Pretty
much. You're one of the biggest names that I know in the UK, like ring announcer and every other wise, which is quite good.
Well,
Progress. You work alongside Lee and Martin for Progress, and I just see pictures of you on Facebook or even on X, it's now known as instead of Twitter, and you just seem to be having a blast, man.
Mate, I think I love professional wrestling and to be involved with it and make sure, just try and I always try and make where I'm working a better place and try and improve the the quality of what's going on there. And I like to think I've learned a few bits over the years about how wrestling can run and how shows can be put together. So the more I can help people, the better. And and as well, it's helping that new crop of talent coming through as well and getting them to develop. One case in point is like Harley Hudson. I worked with Harley at Wrestle Island must be like 4 years ago now at least. And then just watching her work her way up, and she was on Progress, debuted on Progress last weekend. So just shows that it's amazing. People can, and you can help people as well with stuff like that. Putting a good word for people and let people know who's working hard and who deserves an opportunity, and then give them that opportunity and see where they go with it. And that's that young lady's going to be going to the States and working so hard over there, and going to be a star. So that's what it's all about.
TNA, she won a gut check last year, didn't she?
Amazing. Very proud of her.
She's going places.
Class act as well.
So, February the 3rd, you've got TNT. Let's talk about TNT.
Yeah, TNT. So exciting times for TNT. Obviously, each year we do our DOA, which is our deathmatch tournament, and that's what we've got coming up on Saturday. It's going to be, it's brutal, it's violence, it is, it's not for the squeamish, it's not for the faint of heart. It's an over-18s event, and we've got the deathmatch Da Vinci who brings all the weapons along to the show, and it's going to be, it's always a messy one. I don't get to wear my nice little suit for that one. I have to throw my jeans and my steel toe caps on because the suits get wrecked, covered in blood, especially the white one.
Jesus. I mean, one thing that I see and I like about TNT is, like you've just mentioned, they've got the DOA every year, and it's different. TNT put on like a different product, as in you've got like the hardcore violence fans, which the ECW fans from back in the day will love that, and then they've also got like just normal wrestling, like events, and then they've also got tournaments that they do with GCW because they've had a partnership with them. So they do that Effie's Big Gay Brunch or something, but the UK version, like every year. And that,
we try and have a bit of variety there, Jordan. The thing is as well, what I think TNT do really well is we've got a family-friendly show in the daytime, which is showcasing some of like the local talent and some other great wrestlers from around the country. You've got people like Shreddy on it, RPD, Lizzie Evo, Harley Hudson, Scouse and Proud, the tag team there. And also it just it means the families can come in the daytime, and then in the evening you've got that deathmatch show, which is where the deathmatch audience can come along and enjoy that. And then on the Sunday as well, on the 4th, we've got another family-friendly show as well. And then in the evening is going to be our 10th anniversary show as well. So we've got stars coming in from all over the world. Mara's on that one, as well as our tag team champions are finally returning from the States with the tag belts they took over there with them. So
it's going to be a good weekend.
Back in the house, Mecha Wolf and Bestia. So looking forward to seeing those guys again. Absolutely brilliant talent. Last time I actually saw them was when I was in LA for WrestleMania last year. Caught up with them there briefly, and that was when Bestia's father, Damian, had met Rey Mysterio the day before when he was getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, and he'd done him a jacket, which was really sound. The jacket, so it was nice to see.
so many memories you've got, man. It's unbelievable.
Mate, I should write a book, shouldn't I?
Why not?
I'll get writing my memoirs now. I've been writing some little bits and bobs for Real Wrestling recently as well, and sending those over to them guys. They're some other brilliant people in the UK who do a lot of great work at shows and really are trying to boost the atmosphere. Pardon me, still dying. The atmosphere and experience for the fans there. So amazing stuff. Shout out to the Real Wrestling crew.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling's one of them that it can have a wide variety of people who come to shows. It's not just about people that are saying that wrestling's fake. It's people who say that to me do not know or understand the art of professional wrestling, because they bust their asses, they put their lives on the line, because one bump could go wrong, you're pretty much knackered. They do this for a living. They do it to entertain us and make sure we have a good time. And to be honest, I've been to so many wrestling shows over the UK. I mean, you mentioned Rey Mysterio. I met him twice. I've met him at 5-Star Wrestling when that was a part-time thing for a short period of time.
Yeah, my son met him at that as well. It was they did Liverpool, didn't it, at one point? So there's a lot of our friends were on that show, so we popped along to see that, and my son did the head thing with him as he was going down the aisle. So that was nice. My favourite thing that you said there about, these people who say wrestling's fake or whatever, you know what I always say to them? I say, well, why don't you come along and watch a show and then let me know what you think afterwards? And then
it's a good show.
What I find 90% to 100% of the time is they love it. And the next month they're there in the crowd again with their friends who they've brought along with them. Because guess what? It turns out you might say, oh, not a fan of wrestling or whatever, but until you come and go to a show and see what we're actually doing and understand it, you're not going to understand it, are you? So
you speak truth, mate. Generally.
Yeah, and that's it. And then the next second you see them there the next month with the signs and everything. They're loving it. It's their new thing. So there you go.
It's one of them. It's one of them. You'll go to an event or a show and you'll see someone, say for example, like Mark Haskins, very top heel in the UK, or just he always plays a heel, but behind the camera or behind the character, there's a sweetheart. There's a nice guy, humbled guy, family guy, nice, nothing but nice things to say about Mark when I've spoken to him. And that's like that with a lot of people. It's just a character. And another thing, like I say to people who say wrestling's fake, well, people like EastEnders or Coronation Street or Emmerdale or Hollyoaks or say for example, Grey's Anatomy, or they like their show. Well, pretty much, wrestling is a form of an art. Just think of it like that. You get invested in the characters like you would do the show. That's why you keep coming back.
Yeah, it's the storytelling and it's the
Yeah.
characters and it's the sporting aspect of it as well.
And it's the passion in it as well.
And it is. You know, people put so much hard work into it. And as you mentioned, Mark Haskins was on with us at Progress in the Thunder Bastard at the weekend. And I thought there was a little bit of an alliance between him and Tate Mayfair's forming at one point. There seems to be some chemistry between them guys that I've never seen before. So that was an interesting interaction there. I wasn't expecting to see Haskins and Tate Mayfair's, putting a double submission on somebody this weekend. But there you go. You never know what's going to happen. It's unpredictable as well.
That's very true. I had Tate Mayfair's. I think I mentioned this because I had Jonas on, who we mentioned at the beginning of the video. Legend. I had Jonas on last night. Yeah, last night, pretty much last night. And to be honest, really good guy. And in that video, we mentioned about Tate Mayfair's and the guests and everything we had. And I mentioned that I had Tate Mayfair's like, I think 2-3 weeks ago. And in that video, what he said got into Fightful dirt sheet, which is, I was like, wow. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a shock because he dropped me a DM the next morning. Congratulations, bud. We made the dirt sheet with a laughing emoji. Because he mentioned about Will Ospreay. Do you know the match that he had with Will Ospreay?
Yeah.
Because I said that he lost, and he's, the character that he plays. He was like, no, I didn't lose this time. He used him, William Ospreay, got a rub off me or something. And I thought, you know what? That was quite good to see. Just very quite good to see, and I just enjoyed it. And I was like, do you know what? If that can make Fightful dirt sheet, who's reported by Sean Ross Sapp, I was like, anything's possible. Do you know what I mean?
That's it, exactly. But as well, it's it's we bump into people like that when we're at shows and everything, and it's what they do is important and integral in the wrestling business as well, because it's all getting the information out there to people. It's what people want to read. It gets them clicks, and it's and a lot of time the people who are doing it love wrestling and are working hard to try and make it better as well. There's some reporters who just write rubbish about wrestling, but that's just their thing. But it wouldn't be wrestling without it. And as well, maybe they're just playing a heel character themselves. You never know.
Yeah, it's one of them. Unless I see it from the actual person who posts it on Twitter, or unless I see it from a reliable source, I think, what the friggin' hell are you talking about?
You do find a lot of people talk rubbish as well. But I find what's important with me is that I sort of hold my integrity, and like I always try and judge people on what I see when I meet them in person. And you hear stories about people, but I always try and judge people on how they interact with me and how they are when I meet them. And a lot of the people I work with are good people. So
yeah, first impressions count, don't it?
I think so. And as well, just not even just first impressions, constant. Anytime you run into somebody, I'm always thinking, if you hear a story about somebody, don't always believe that it's true, because people have got lives as well, other than what you see in the ring.
True. Very true. So back to TNT, we've got a match on there for the Women's Championship against Lizzie Evo, who's a champion, and Rio.
Two of the absolute best in the world at the moment, female wrestlers.
I would agree.
Such a wealth of female talent in the UK. And a lot of them, they're fighting the guys as well. They're out there. They're getting involved. There's people like Harley, Kira Chimera, Nina Samuels, with Alexis Falcon. We're seeing them all over the country. They're doing amazing work. And Lizzie versus Rio is right up there. They're two of the absolute best. And to see them face each other is going to be pretty special. So, looking forward to that one. Lizzie, in her hometown, never disappoints. And Rio, she's a bad bitch, isn't she? She's tough, Rio. She's going to come and show them what she's all about. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's gets a massive ovation from the crowd and is a 5-star match. Looking forward to it.
Who do you reckon's going to be walking out the winner?
I'd have to say hometown hero Lizzie Evo retain in that one, but we'll have to see. We all know Rio's tough enough to get the job done, but I just think we'll have to see. Lizzie focused in a hometown is, one of the best on the planet.
I'd agree with you on that one. One, if not, and she's such a nice person as well.
When she wants to be.
I saw that you said that.
She'll see it, mate. Yeah, don't you worry. She knows that. If she wants to kick someone in the head, she will do. Simple as.
Yeah. It's very true. And another person you mentioned Alexis Falcon. Now, on TNT, you've got Lizzie Evo and Alexis Falcon rivalry, which has been one of the hottest in the company's history, if you put that on paper. So the matches that they've had is out of this world. Phenomenal chemistry, unbelievable talent. They've had a 2 out of 3 falls count anywhere. They've had so many matches, so many singles matches as well. And they don't disappoint. And I think Alexis Falcon's chemistry and everything now that she's with Charles Crowley, I think it's just so funny. And the promos that she keeps pressing on Twitter and just everything, I think she's gotten so, not like she weren't good anyway, but I think she's just gotten so much better since she's paired with him.
Ever since I met her I saw her in, I think it was Runcorn when I first saw her could be as far back as sort of 8 or 9 years ago. And then she was on Wrestle Island where she was part of a group, The Rejected. And then I saw her rise through Wrestle Island. She's called the Iron Queen because she won the an Iron Woman match at Wrestle Island, and we decided to call her the Iron Queen, and she's kept that from there, which is brilliant to see. And then she's had this feud with Lizzie at TNT, which was absolutely epic. It was definitely feud of the year, and they just had banger after banger after banger of matches. The chemistry between them was exceptional, and the hatred between them in the ring was real. There was a real one-upmanship between them there, and to see her progressing even further, she became the Reeks champion this week. She's working alongside Charles Crowley, and I think he's unlocked an even more dangerous version of Alexis Falcon moving forward. And I'm certainly concerned for any of her opponents moving forward for sure. Yeah,
I mean, both of them together, because they had a match in France recently against Kira. I can't say her name. Kira Kamara. How do you say it?
Kira Chimera.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tongue twist, that one. And then Scotty Rock, which that one was quite good.
I've heard that the dog's bollocks.
And cheeky little buggers.
Exactly. That's a heck of a match. And, Scotty's the title champion. Kira, I've worked with numerous times. Brilliant wrestler. And she was brilliant on Tidal last year when she was over for Tidal. I'm sure she's somebody we'll see appear back up in Huddersfield in 2024 at some point. And, a match between those four is just top quality. That's going to be good. It's going to deliver because those guys are at the top of the game and they're not going to let you down.
So let's talk about Tidal. You're the general manager, if that's correct.
That's right, yeah. So I ring announced for Tidal last year. Me and Simon Hill sort of took turns ring announcing last year there. And then, I was made the GM because I think it was due to a couple of times when we had to step in and have a bit of authority on the scene. And it just made sense for me to step in and say, let's make this a triple threat match. Or, no, Ace Matthews, you're not just going to walk out of the parish with the championship during your match, simple as. But people saw that bit of authority and thought, what, he'd do well actually doing that as his role. So,
yeah.
And having the ring announcer is at the ringside the whole time. If things are going wrong, they can fix it. So why not have the ring announcer as the GM and be able to fix the problems as they're occurring on the show? Because literally, you never know what's going to happen on a wrestling show. It is unpredictable. And there are times when you have to say, you know what, you are going to have to face him instead tonight, or whatever. So if there's somebody who can think on the toes and literally fix things like that, that's all helps, doesn't it?
And it does, mate. It does. Tidal, I think he's one. So when I think of wrestling promotions in the UK, people just think of Progress Pro and Rev Pro. But you've got other ones like you mentioned, like TNT, you've got Tidal, you've got North, you've got so many others.
There are
Pro
loads.
wrestling
They're all
players.
doing great, like BWR. Up in Scotland, you've got shows up there as well. And everyone's working hard with the same goal in mind, which is to have sellout wrestling shows with great matches. And every show helps the wrestlers because they improve wrestling each other, they improve telling stories, and they get better and better and better. And it's better for the fans, better for the wrestlers, and better for the wrestling companies. So what I see with Tidal is Tidal is a company that's around for 10 years, been absolutely brilliant in Leeds, Yorkshire area. Get the guy in running it, did a great job, brought in some great talent. There's been people like Adam Cole has been on Tidal.
Yeah.
Yeah, loads of Rampage Brown.
Alistair Black.
That's it, exactly. There's been all the stars have come through and wrestled on Tidal. And then this year it had a bit of a reset. A new owner came in, set it up, did a great job. Took it back to its base in the parish in Huddersfield, and they're building something special up there in Yorkshire. And New Dawn 2 was a sellout show, absolutely epic show, and it had some of the best wrestling matches I've seen in a long time on it. Harley Hudson answered Spike Gervais' open challenge, and that match, if you haven't, well, you probably, unless you were there, you wouldn't have seen it, but that is a match you need to see. So I've spoken to Tidal and said, I think we should release that match for people to watch. So in the coming weeks, I do believe we're going to release that match for people to watch for free so they can check out what we're doing at Tidal.
Yeah.
But moving forward, there's a lot going on. We've got some brilliant wrestlers there. Scotty Rourke's our champion. Tate Mayfair's was the number one contender. He didn't win the match. We've got Gradwell there. We've got up-and-coming stars like Vusic. Ace Matthews is the title chief there. There's all sorts going on. Nina Samuels beat Rio for the Women's Championship on New Dawn 2. So Nina Samuels is our champion moving forward. Looking forward to seeing what happens with that. Rio, will she get another opportunity? We'll have to see. Keep your eyes peeled on that. But we've got, on the 24th of February, the Iron Will tournament in the New Cross Inn in London. So the qualifiers are at the New Cross Inn. And then the 4 winners of their matches at New Cross Inn being a fatal 4-way match up in Huddersfield on March 17th, which will be contested in an Ironman style matchup with 4 wrestlers in it. So something special, and that will crown the new Iron Will champion at Tidal. So exciting times because we've got that going on. Also in London on the 24th, an exciting match we've got coming up. Adonis Payne gets his rematch against Bullet. Now last year Bullet battered Adonis Payne all around the parish in Huddersfield, and they had another match set for last September. Bullet was unable to make the date, but Adonis has not given up that he wants this opportunity to face the big guy. Last week at Progress, Adonis Payne came down to help out at Progress as part of ring crew, as any young wrestler should do. Pay your dues, help on the ring crew, learn the setup, learn everything, listen to what people are telling you. That is a good professional wrestler, Adonis Payne, learning alongside the best and getting to be part of the action. And on this occasion, he got a bit too close to the action because at one point he locked eyes with the one-man armory Bullet, who was facing Shigehiro Irie. And Bullet dragged him into the way of a splash from Irie, which absolutely flattened Adonis Payne onto the floor of the ballroom. And Adonis has mentioned that he made his Progress debut and he's imprinted for life on the ballroom floor. Now there's payback to be had. Adonis Payne was not happy about that whatsoever, as you can understand. And Bullet has said that he's going to choke slam Adonis Payne all around the New Cross Inn on the 24th of February. So exciting times. Looking forward to seeing that. And we've got some amazing competitors in the Iron Will tournament. Vusic's going to be in it. Bauer making his title debut. We've also got man like DeReese in the tournament. Artemis has stepped up to get in the tournament. It's going to be pretty special.
It's going to be a good few months for Tidal.
Definitely. If you haven't got your tickets yet, now's your chance. Get them now. Go head to our big cartel. The link is on all the posts on social media. Make sure to check it out. And I'm thoroughly excited by it. And title match on the show as well. Scotty Rourke facing off against his old-time friend, Dara Diablo. Dara back in Tidal, a Tidal OG. And he's stepping up to face Scotty Rourke in what will be an interesting contest for the Tidal Championship.
It's going to be a banger of a match itself.
Exactly.
So one thing
games. We're coming to the capsule to take over, John.
One thing that I always ask my guests, and I ask everyone, who's their Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling?
Yeah,
Who
Done
would
this
yours
one a
be?
few times. Mine seems to change every time I do it, but I think Bret the Hitman Hart was always my favourite wrestler as I was growing up.
Yeah.
I think Bret, definitely. Triple H, Mick Foley's Hardcore Legend, and then my other one would have to be. This is the one, the fairies. I switch it round depending on what mood I'm feeling. I think I'll throw Macho Man in today, but that fourth position can go to, The Rock, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Mr. Perfect, Ravishing Rick Rude, RVD, depending on what day of the week it
So
is.
many, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But there's
So
so many
what?
legends, and it's great to interact with them and catch up with them. For the Love of Wrestling that's coming up in March in Manchester, you get the chance to meet a load of legends there. That's if you're a wrestling fan, that's the place to be in the next couple of months for sure.
Literally.
We are doing Progress on the Friday night as well. So Friday the 1st of March, Progress is going to be at For the Love of Wrestling, For the Love of Progress. Second time we've done that. It's going to be amazing. And then For the Love of Wrestling itself, run by Monopoly Events. Brilliant events. And this year, I believe they've got people like Trish Stratus, Gangrel, X-Pac. There's loads of talent coming over for this one. It's going to be amazing. And Future Shock run their show on the Saturday night. And invariably somebody, a legend of wrestling past, gets involved somehow in that rumble. Every year.
I've seen that. So what can you say that we expect from you in 2024?
Oh, I think looking forward to doing more with Progress, obviously. Going to the States with Progress. That's going to be amazing. We've got loads coming from TNT. TNT is the ECW of UK wrestling. There's a bit of something for everybody. And, the talent, the wealth of talent in the UK is what makes wrestling so exciting. There's so many characters. There's so many people working hard. And all the time, there's new talent. People like Nathan Angel, Brandon Lee, Adonis Payne, Tommy Kyle. There's people stepping up all over the show who were putting on entertaining matches and something different for fans to see. So get yourself to your local wrestling show and see what's going on.
Yeah, it's going to be a good year for you, mate.
Yeah, I've got exciting stuff lined up. I've got a debut coming up next weekend with a company I've not worked with before. You've got a lot of young wrestlers who are training at the training school there in Dudley. So looking forward to seeing those guys, finding out what they're all about, and scouting out that next crop of talent who are going to be coming through in the UK and who might one day be on Progress and might one day be on WWE. You never know where anyone could end up, and that's the target for all the young wrestlers, I would assume. Work up the ladder, AW, TNA, WWE. There's ways to get there from the UK, and we've got a massive wealth of talent. Keep putting on them great shows, keep entertaining the fans, and the fans will come back and watch you and support you. That's the way forward.
Very true. I've got coming up in the next couple of months, this month and March, I will show you now, Royce Isaacs.
Brilliant.
Announced for this month. I've also got what I announced last night on Twitter, and in the video with Jonas, I've got on the 14th of February, Jacob Fatu.
Class.
And especially Jacob Fatu, I'm very excited to be doing that because he has a lot of people who are gunning to sign him.
Exactly.
So the fact that,
understandably as well, brilliant athlete. I was looking at someone into him in LA last year, yeah, and he was on top form there, to be fair. So yeah, excellent. Yeah. That'll be brilliant. That really interesting interview, and just make sure you got your questions ready.
Oh, I have. Don't you worry. Anyway, mate, thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate your time.
No worries at all. I'll just let you know. So obviously we've got TNT this upcoming weekend, 3rd and 4th, 4 shows, going to be brilliant. Then let's have a think. What else have we got coming up? Tidal on the 24th of February, Progress on the 25th, and then straight after that's For Love of Wrestling the weekend after. And we've also got a very special show on March 7th in the Dome down in London, Diamond Dust, where we've got some amazing wrestlers working over on Progress for the first time. That's going to be a really interesting one in the Dome, that one. If I were you, I would pick up tickets for that if you can get to it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have to have a look at that one. Thank you for your
Brilliant,
time, man. I do appreciate it.
at all. Great to speak to you. Apologies, a bit under the weather today, but hopefully
all right,
we still got everything you wanted to chat about. Brilliant to
Definitely,
speak to
mate.
you. Keep up
Thank
the
you.
hard work, mate, and look forward to catching up to you at a show. All right.
Definitely, mate. Thank you.
No worries at all, bro.
Take care, mate.